Yeah.
I'm doing okay, but I mean, I'm on like, on a fringe again. And so the reason why I'm trying to get this squared away one more time is because I'm going into uh, a facility that is going to try to help me with what's going on neurologically, that the damage that's been done from the immunotherapy. And so they're trying to figure it out. And they've never seen somebody like me before, so I'm new.
Oh wow! So
Yeah.
the last time I talked to you was the night before. Actually, I think I talked to you before, the day after you got out of the hospital.
Okay.
Like you flatlined. You were on the
Yep.
phone with Papa Boner and I and a bunch of people, and
yeah,
it was a mess. You were kind of like trying to figure things out, and then the next day we're like, "Where'd Fly Tie go?"
Yeah.
Go, and no one's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, he you freaking
I
was in the hospital, like flatlined." We're like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
And then
dude.
you jumped back on one more time, and then that was I haven't been in this chat very much.
Me either. This is the first time I've been back in since actually probably close to then. So
What
yeah,
a trip, man, because I never come in here. The fact that I'm even in here right now is just so weird.
Yeah, it's been a bad ride, and I'm just trying to make it as as easy and as best as possible that I can for my family, and I don't know how to do this. I wish I would never got involved, because it's too complicated for them. I think if it's complicated for me, it's going to be complicated for them.
Well, listen. The other thing that you have is this community, right? So, you can direct them to this place.
Yeah.
And the people here, and we will make sure that they get all the support and assistance that they need. But hopefully that doesn't it doesn't come to that, and they can figure out what's going on and treat. So is it so is it just still a mystery to them that
Yes.
are you having like motor skill issues?
Oh yeah. I mean, I sometimes I could be standing here at my computer working and I'll fall over like a stick of wood. My eyes will just roll back into my head and it's game over. And I don't even know where it came from. And so, it's getting to the point where it's like, is there any way to reverse what you guys have done to me? I mean, sure.
So how long has the immunotherapy is kind of like bleeding edge stuff, right? It's not like they have a bunch of history.
No, it's 5 years in the works right now, and they, like I said, I'm in like one of the leading cases at Harvard University right now. They've never seen one of me, and so I'm like, they're gonna write a book about me. I guarantee it. Not that I wanted to write a book about me, but I hope that there's a way to not let other people have to go through this. But
so they
what
did the
you don't have any choice when you are
the adipose derived stem cell extraction, and then they used that to I guess take the, I don't know if it's plasma or what they use to.
Oh yeah, they did plasmapheresis on me I did 12 rounds of plasmapheresis, okay, where they put 3.5 liters in me each time I went, right, of artificial plasma to try to, replace, what was in me. And then every other day I would go back and do it again. And then it went on and on and on, and then even when I did the treatment, the immunotherapy, I was supposed to go through 4 rounds of it, and I only made 3 because the 4th round was going to kill me, and they knew it. And they called me that morning, said, "Don't come in. Go to the ER right now." You know,
Mhm.
and I'm like, "Why?" And they go, "Because it's attacking your heart, and you're gonna have a heart attack and die." You know, I'm like, "Okay, I'm in later." So I went straight to the ER, and they flushed me out with prednisone, which is a steroid, which is an ugly drug, also.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
terrible. That stuff's
Yep.
hardcore.
Yep, it fucked me up. So I mean, like, all I've been is a human guinea pig on this whole side, and I'm thankful to be alive, but I'm not thankful for the side effects that I got. And
I mean, the other option for you, if you weren't doing this, would be just your typical radiation, right? Chemo.
no, that it wasn't even an option. No, it was so far advanced that it wasn't an option. It was stage
Oh,
4
wow.
advanced, and so I didn't even get to even know I even had it. I didn't get a stage 1. Hey, look, that might be cancerous. No, I came in, and I had a little mole on my back, and they cut it off. And as soon as they cut it off, it went ape shit. Okay. I mean, within 10 days, it turned into the size of a hockey puck. And,
Yeah, you were telling it was just like
yeah,
this big
I mean,
crater. Your wife
it's
was
insane.
like tripping.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta
Well,
get to the hospital now. I
yeah.
remember
This
that.
whole, and I've been in and out of this emergency room so many times now. I mean, I'm just at the point where it's like, I don't even know anymore. You know what I mean? I'm a fucking fighter. I will never fucking lay down ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I just don't know. I feel like a wild card. Like, I don't even know what I'm getting, when I'm going to get it, and it just shows up. Right now I'm just
And
getting over
yeah, you,
a severe case of coke. I got freaking,
oh,
I
fuck,
got
man.
hammered hard too. It didn't give me a light case.
And you got through it?
Yeah, dude, I'm on day 10 right now.
Wow.
Okay. And I mean,
Wow.
it attacked my respiratory system like nothing else. I thought I was drowning every morning, and
Wow, dude.
uh, it is insane,
Well, that's
insane.
something. I mean, that's something to be said that your immune system was able to fight that off.
Dude, I just told you, man, I am a fighter, and I'm not stupid. I mean, I took, the monoclonal antibodies. I took all of the things that I knew ahead of time, way before all this shit came down. I had,
Yeah.
hydroxychloroquine. I had, ivermectin. I had all that stuff 2 years ago, you know,
Right. Right.
and so, as soon as I got freaking diagnosed, I was like, okay, I just started, dosing myself up as hard as I could, with the stuff that you can't get, you know,
Thank God. Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm alive. I'm alive, you know, and I'm, I mean, every day is better. That's all I can say. But the last 10 days, I mean, the first 5 days was a literal hell. I've never been to anything through anything like that before in my life. So, yeah.
Unreal.
But anyway, enough about
And
me.
you're
Let's
just
just
going through it.
get to
Well,
talking about some good
this is what I
stuff.
suggest, man, is
Yeah.
you've got, you're in a better place than you were last time I talked to you, because you had a bunch of seed words, bunch of didn't know what was what, had a bunch of. So I think what I would suggest is
Okay.
find
I
out
do
and,
have.
and write this stuff down.
Yeah.
You've
I'm
got
writing
three
it.
wallets,
I do.
like you've got three wallets.
Right.
You want to color code them with nail polish or a little stick or dot. And you want
Right.
to take a piece of paper and you want to put
Right.
those colors, and you want to write down the wallet address. You want to write down the seed words to that wallet,
Right.
and you want to write down what's in there and the balances that are
Okay.
in there. And that's tricky because when you access those wallets, the tokens don't just automatically kind of populate. You have to manually add some of the tokens,
Yeah. Why do I
like
have to keep
hex
manually
words.
adding them all the time? I don't get it. It seems like I have to keep
Well,
manually.
you don't, yeah, you don't have to keep adding them, but if you do like a migration, you do.
Okay.
So if you have an event like that where you're kind of re-instantiating seed words into a wallet, or you're migrating or something like that, then you will. But you 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 shouldn't after doing that once.
I would.
So if you know that you've only purchased like Hex and Sacrifice from
Yeah.
Pulse and PulseX or whatever, then you
Yeah.
don't need to like search for all these other assets. You just
Well,
need
I
to
mean,
just try to
I
add
think,
Hex, try to add.
listen, actually, all the other stuff I do have, the stuff that I can't find is anything that I have on. I mean, I can see all of my hex sacrifices. Okay. Um, I mean, my stuff that I staked out, and I've been staked out for a number of years. And so those are the ones that, I can see them on a particular wallet, but then they don't show up on my hardware wallet. And I'm not sure why. They only show up on, like my cold wallet.
Fly Guy, how many accounts do you have on MetaMask?
4.
So make sure the hardware wallet is the one that you think those tokens are in. Because I know that I have 2 wallets, and I had to make sure my original MetaMask, I had to put it on the wallet, and then the second one, when I got the the Trezor, I created the second wallet.
Right. Okay.
Where
Okay.
that all 4 of them are in there, or were synced to that treasure or ledger.
I think that might be something that where in between, I have 2 treasures and 1 ledger. Okay. And, my ledger has, one portion of assets, and then the treasures were supposed to, be set up to have, my stakes. And I thought they were on there, but they're not. They're still on a cold wallet for some reason, and I'm not sure why. I don't even know what's not allowing me to put them on there. So maybe I should get with Papa on that again, or go over his whole. I think I've done it so many times, but I know that my cognitive brain thinking has been tampered with. And so I have I'm sorry, what?
No, it was just an echo. I turned on my mic. Please finish your thought.
Oh, yeah. And so, it gives me like sort of a brain pain, if that makes sense to, when
No,
I go
I heard what you say. You don't have to, you don't have to go through that and tell me. I mean, I understand.
okay.
Okay. The So when you say cold wallet, do you mean paper?
No, that's on my phone.
So, you got to make sure you got to somehow get it off the phone. So it's not it's on your mobile.
I'm trying to get my stakes off my phone into my Trezor. Right,
I don't know if you could move. Are they still being staked, or are they expired?
Yeah, I mean, these are stakes. You can't like move them. Once you've done it, I've got 15 stakes out there. You know what I mean?
You're concerned about the ones that they're not staked, they're not on the hardware wallet. Is that the ones you were looking for?
I can actually find the ones that are not on my hardware wallet, and I can pull them up on my phone, and I can actually, but I'm trying to figure out how to transfer them into the hardware wallet so that I can like delete it from my phone.
So if they're not staked, they're just sitting there, and I assume it's HEX, right?
No, they are staked. These have been staked out for a while.
You can't move them. They're gonna have to stay on that phone. And
Okay.
I'm assuming. I believe with HEX, as long as they're staked, they can't be moved by anyone else. Just be careful of that phone. The only thing is I don't know if you could take the phone offline and use another one, and then when they come due, you could put the SIM back in, and as long as you're not putting anything on that phone, new apps, just be very careful. That's all I could say, because once they're unstaked, someone could grab onto that tokens before you could move them to the hardware wallet.
Right.
So you got a long time to wait on those stakes?
I'm staked out over the next, I'm staked out over 10 years. And then I started building a mid ladder and then a quad ladder, so I've been working on my ladder for a while.
Okay, brothers. And I would highly recommend, if you could maybe afford another phone.
Okay.
Shoot. I you know what? Maybe Papa would know. You want to safeguard that phone and somehow like do a data copy, so that if God forbid the phone goes, I don't know how, you have the seed words, I assume, on that. Okay, you do.
Yeah, they're not on the phone, but I do have the seeds. Yeah.
Not on the phone. Okay. I would, if I was you, I'd probably take the SIM out. I know you could still go on Wi-Fi and load an app, but
Yeah.
I would probably leave it where, figure out a way where you could use another phone. And then speak, maybe Papa would know.
Well, I'll give Papa
MetaMask.
I'll give him a chat tomorrow in the morning. I know he's on the other side of the country, so I know what time he's up. So.
I'm sure there's a way. I mean, don't worry about it. I'm sure there is a way of somehow securing those stakes for you, and then or maybe somehow. I'm just thinking the data on there, the wallet itself.
Yeah, I mean, this whole thing has become complicated, because of like then you got Hedron, you got all these different things that you branched off into, and then it just becomes like a hornet's nest if you're not like so on top of this, then you can get in trouble real quick.
Yeah, I didn't put any money in any other tokens. I'm waiting for the blockchain to launch, and then I'll figure things out. Really.
Yeah. I mean, well, I've been in it for a couple of years, and paid my prices in the beginning, and now I'm trying to put my things right at the end so that I am totally secured.
Got into HEX from day one?
No, I didn't get into HEX until last October. Not last, I mean, a year, a little over a year ago.
Yeah, I just got into, believe it or not, I just found out about Richard Hart and the PulseX Sacrifice at the beginning of the year from an investment online group, trading group that someone mentioned it. And
well, good for you if you got on the PulseX. I did. I missed the Pulsechain, but I got on the PulseX. So
I'm here.
Yeah. but you know, I didn't know how much I wanted to give into that, you know, so I didn't put a lot in, but you know, like, I don't know. I don't know if it matters talking about what your returns are online, or you shouldn't, or shouldn't.
Yeah, you
But
shouldn't. And you know what? A lot for you, maybe a lot or a little for someone else, or a lot for someone else is your
yeah,
little. You know, but
yeah,
numbers are basically meaningless. It's up to you, the individual. I pretty much liquidated a lot of things to get into the sacrifice. I said at this point in time,
yeah,
I'm part of, I'm part of the Mount Gox, lawsuit. Hopefully I'll get my, not even a Bitcoin. It's like maybe a 15th of a Bitcoin, not even 20%, because they're not giving me. I could have had one Bitcoin. I mean, at the time, I had to send money through Western Union,
yeah.
and I've never did a Western Union. It's weird. Like you got to make a phone call in their facility, and I sent. And at the time, I think a Bitcoin was like $100,
Oh
and
wow.
yeah, there was no way of bringing fiat into it. And then later
Yeah,
on, downtown in the city, they had like office and ATMs and stuff like that. You could buy Bitcoin, but that came later on. And then I just forgot about that whole thing. I've seen it all. I've invested in other stuff, and then I don't care. I'll mention it. BNB, Binance,
yeah,
because of the lawsuit and everything, I got pretty disgusted of their situation, what they're doing. And really, Richard Hart in this community opened, I found out about the lawsuit through here, and I just dumped everything. I said, the hell with it. At the peak, it was great to see that, your account up so high. But once it started coming down, I just said, you know what, with the sacrifice, and then because I didn't even bother doing anything on with ERC20s, is because of the gas fees, and I said this is not feasible, even with small investors. If you're a big whale, it doesn't matter to you.
no, right. And I'm not. You know, I mean, I was scraping together what I had, you know, trying to protect my family, because they weren't going to give me 6 weeks, you know, and so I was like, oh shit, man, it's a done deal, you know, but that's not the way it worked out. So I'm still here and I'm still kicking.
Well, you know what? I hope it works out. God bless you. I hope it works out that you're going to see those stakes, come through at the end of the 10 years, and you guys could enjoy those things as well. Because it's great that you're staking.
Right.
It's going to be cool, because at the end of 10 years, you're going to see the other end, which is the PHEX as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I did a little bit, you know, I was, you know, I diversified, you know, in a lot of different ways. You know, I went into precious metals. I went into stocks in the mining industry. I went into crypto, and I went into fiat. So I tried to, you know, balance the sheet as much as I could for where I was at. And
Yeah,
so
I hope it works for you. I really do.
that's all I could do.
Well, let's see. I mean, I'm not one that's going to cry and say, "Where is the launch?"
Oh,
Um,
I'm not worried about it.
I'm concerned that them putting out, a crypto that is secure, stable, and you don't hear any major bugs on a lot of, like other tokens.
Absolutely. And we've been around the block here. We've all seen this. Yeah. And exactly. And so let's, I think launch is important, and it's more important to do it right than it is to be in a hurry. And so, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not sitting here waiting, tapping my toes. When are they going to launch? I just want to make sure that I have my ducks in a row, more than anything.
Definitely, it's going to be interesting to see when it launches, and I really am concerned though about the publicity of the main thing after, like we've already, lack of a better word, invested our time, effort, belief in this, and then the sacrifice itself to the project. I really would like to see it marketed, or it taking off, basically getting the word out, and
Well, getting
on rampers
that it deserves would be, admirable, because, the reason why we even put money out, it wasn't to get money necessarily. It was because, I believe in freedom of speech and freedom of assembly, and I want to preserve that for my kids and for the people that come, behind me. It's not just about me, and I'm not going to, I mean, I grew up on the East Coast, so I have a history of the United States of America, where they don't teach history in California. They don't teach history anywhere else, like they did when I was a kid, and so, I have an understanding, being that I grew up in, I was born in '62. So I have a really good solid foundation on my history and the history of this country, and how the monetary system works in all of it, man. I mean, I've studied hard for the last 2 years, while I've been sitting back fighting cancer, because I couldn't work. And so, I dove in deep, and, I think that it was important, to get a good understanding of that.
I understand where you're coming from. I have a sense of an idea of where you're from, and I'm pretty much in the same. And I think we could pretty much say that the Constitution and the Revolutionary War happened in our own backyard, and we could probably walk down a street and say who walked there: George Washington, or the society that helped out the George Washington's.
They took the stones from my barn to build the Gettysburg Wall.
Yep. I mean, we got places around here too.
I grew up in a 250-year-old stone farmhouse back in Pennsylvania. And when the barn burned down, I wasn't there, but I knew the lady that lived there, because I delivered the newspaper to her when I was 12, and she was 98, and she gave me the pictures of my property when she lived there as a child, and how the train used to go through the backyard and the whole thing. And I was just blown away, and so she gave me more of a history than anybody could ever give me.
I got a family member who owns a house on the North Shore of Long Island that he owned the ship. Now, listen, brother, I don't know if you know the program. It was on A&E. Yeah, I think it was A&E Turn. Have you watched that?
A&E Turn?
No, the channel is A&E for arts. No, AMC. I'm sorry, the AMC channel. But you probably see it on Netflix too. Is Turn. Washington's Men. Yeah, Turn. Washington's Men.
Okay.
It's all about Washington spies, about that whole period. I'm telling you, it's Jefferson and from Pennsylvania on up to New York, up to Boston.
Yeah, no, I live there, dude. I mean, listen, I mean, the George Thayer home was 2 blocks from my house. He was the signer of the independent of the Declaration, you know. He was one of the signers. And so, I mean, I'm familiar with what you're saying, yes. But I haven't
It's the
seen
program.
that.
You're gonna like it. It's a series. You're really gonna like it. If you really like that history, and you know the whole independence and the fight for independence of the crown and everything of England, you're gonna like this. It's all about Washington's men and basically how spying, you know, the spy, the culprit spy.
Yeah. No, it's been, well, you know, if we ever get told the truth, you know, in our lives, then that would be amazing to me. I would be gratified, because I know that we have been lied to our entire lives. That might be a different topic. Did I lose it?
We can
No,
say that.
it all bleeds together.
Oh, yeah. And I'm not gonna, let's not go down the rabbit hole. So I know we could.
One thing I'll add to that is I was born and raised in California.
Okay.
And I am just as much of a, you know, part of that less than 10% that stood up and fought for what's now this beautiful country, you know, back during that time period that you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of us out here, and we know we've been lied to, and we know what's happened to our education system. We know what's happening to our children, you know, and it's the silent majority, you know, and it doesn't take more than a minority to actually do something about it if push comes to shove. And so there's a lot of willing and able-bodied men who are getting really close and getting really prepared for what may be, you know, a tipping point in our history, because we're not just going to let them turn our kids into drag queens and, you know, inject everybody with a bunch of bullshit that doesn't work. And, you know, it's not, we're not just going to take it rolling. We're not just going to roll over and take it. This is America, you know.
Yeah.
They may have ruined and poisoned a generation, but, you know,
we can bring it back. And, you know,
I'm part
of that generation that has been trying to bring it back. I homeschooled my kids. We did, because we saw the writing on the wall then. Okay. And so I've been married 40 years now. All right. And I got a beautiful wife and 3 beautiful kids. And, you know, they're great kids. And, you know, they've been raised on a solid foundation, you know, and I taught them how to live. I taught them how to work. I taught them how to do their own things. I taught them how to live in the environments. I taught them everything, you know, and they, you know, appreciate every part of what we did, even though I had
that's
here.
You don't know how much I needed to hear that, because I'm 42, but I have twin 3-year-olds that are getting ready to, you know, get to that age where, you know, it's school is and we haven't vaccinated our kids, and we've had to fight, and we've had to fight against doctors and nurses. And our pediatrician said there's no need. And so, you know, we're not going to just throw them in some public indoctrination program where they've got to use pronouns and all kinds of all this other BS. But homeschooling is certainly not something that I was planning on.
There is a community of people that will support you in that environment. And listen, I mean, there's so many people now that it's so much more popular to, you know, in this day and age right now than it was when we were doing it. We were called extremists. And
you're way early, man. You're like way early.
We were doing this in the 80s. Okay. And because we knew we had to start fighting, you know, and you know, we've been like in a battlefield from day one. And, you know, the little things that you know about right now are only a tip of an iceberg compared to the battles that we've gone through. But you know what? We're not giving up. We're not stopping. We're not going to ever lay down. We're still fighting, and we're not going to ever stop for what's right, you know? And I want, you know, the next generations to reap the benefits, you know? And you're right. It does only take one person. One person can make a difference, you know, and I know that. And, you know, you just have to be that one person. And so if you've got some people and you've got a group of collectives, then, you know, send me a text and, you know, I will get involved because I have been involved in a lot. And, you know, I paid a price for it though. And, but
I just sent you a DM so that you have me. You know, we've got
okay.
a thread going, and
Okay.
definitely we'll keep in touch because I've got north of 150 people
Okay.
from all sorts of different backgrounds. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm half Asian. My grandmother was an intern during World War II, and then training camps. My other side goes back to the 1700s in Pennsylvania. And
Yeah.
so, you know, but it's about what you're learning at home. You know,
No.
I grew up in a very liberal, you know, city in a lower income neighborhood, and it was about what I was learning at home. You know,
Where were you
that's
at,
what I.
Kelly?
So Santa Ana, Garden Grove. I moved around a lot.
Yeah.
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 My
I know
dad
here.
was a drug addict. You know, but I still learned some things, the principles, and you know, faith and about this country. You know, at home. I didn't learn a lot in school, to be honest with you. And but I've definitely been awake for the past, you know, at least 4 to 5, 6 years now. Like really awake. Like, you know, Organic Act of 1871. You know, all the actual history of this country that they don't teach in schools.
Yep.
I've been just absolutely addicted to learning about the truth. You know, for that amount of time. So.
Well, I mean, listen, man, history is history. And if there's one thing that you're ever going to learn about history, is that it will repeat itself. So all you have to do is learn some history and see where you're heading and how to, you know, prepare yourself and move yourself into a place of, you know, where you can collectively be an addition, not a subtraction. And that's what you want to be, because there's going to be so many people that have no idea when this comes. Okay. And, you know, so, I mean, you know, if anything comes from, you know, Hex and PulseX and Pulsechain and, you know, my crypto, I mean, it's not for me. I know it's not for me, and I don't care. It's not, you know, like so that we can go live some lavish life. No, no, it's going to be all about, you know, who are we going to help? How are we going to help them? Because they're going to be fucking hurt and bad, you know. And so I hope it does work out, you know. And so, you know, I put a little bit of my time and effort into, you know, Hex and PulseX and stuff, and you know, I'm going to let it ride, and I'm not going to ever lay down. Like I said, you know, right now I'm in remission, and that is good. The side effects that I got from doing that therapy are probably just as bad as what I would have got. But, you know, I think they can be worked out, you know. and I'm trying to work it out homeopathically and not allow the medical system to inject me with anything. So that's the route I'm on.
John, brother.
Yeah. So I'm going to check off for a minute. I got a neighbor that just dropped in, so I'll come back in a bit.
Sounds good. Good to hear you, man.
Thanks. Hey guys, sorry, back in. I had to tell my neighbors, like, don't be over here. I got COVID.